On the news tonight, Nigerians thanks presidential candidates on peaceful poll. Osun APP collapses structure into PDP ahead of elections. Mexico Senate approved reform of electoral institute. Good evening. Welcome to the Major Report. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. The 18 presidential candidates of Nigeria's general election have signed a second peace accord in the capital Abuja in a bid to prevent unrest surrounding the February 25 polls. The pact is to ensure the conduct of free, fair, credible, transparent and verifiable election, cognizant of the need to maintain a peaceful environment before, during and after the 2023 general election and to place national interest above personal and partisan concerns. It will be recalled that an annual agreement had been signed in September 2022 with former military head of state and retired General Abdusalam Abubakar said has been violated numerous times. The peace accord signing organized by the National Peace Committee and the Kuka Leadership Center was in the presence of President Muhammadu Buhari and other African and international leaders and diplomats. Nigerians have charged all the presidential contestants in the country to go beyond signing of peace accord and ensure that they sensitize their supporters on the need to vote and not fight. Those who spoke in separate interviews with Osbc News against the backdrop of the signing of the second peace accord by presidential candidate admonished party supporters to eschew violence. Our reporter, Oluchi Amuda, now completes the story.
With few hours to the Presidential National Assembly elections in Nigeria, presidential candidates of the 18 political parties converged on the International Conference Center Abuja to sign the peace accord for the second time. The first one was signed in September last year prior to the commencement of campaigns. The National Peace Committee, which organized the event, had often believed in the need for candidates to enlist their commitment to a peaceful conduct of the 2023 presidential election. Nigerians have, however, believed that candidates should go beyond the signing of peace accord and encourage their supporters to shun violence or all acts that could lead to violence. In their separate interviews with Osbc News, analysts including Comrade Michael Ebonfi and Mr. Bolari Olabode spoke on the need for all candidates of the various political parties contesting in the election to caution their supporters not to engage in utterances that could fan the embers of discord and promote violence. Comrade Ebonfi and Mr. Olabode also charged security operatives to be on the lookout for social media handlers who often use their platforms to spread hate speech and make incisive statements that could disrupt the peace of the country.
Signing the accord, they have to tell their followers as well. Because when you have a good leader and the followers are bad, there's no way you will not be having issues. Because even followers as well, they are the ones even leading to causing a lot of mayhem. Because it's not the leader that will even go and be carrying machetes and carrying guns and doing a lot of things. But we have to say, okay, by the time we as the leaders, as the contestants, we have signed peace accord, our chairman, our secretariat and a lot of secretaries, a lot of them signing that into the document. They have to ensure that they discuss and tell and warn their followers to desist and not to give them bad names.
They expect that they go back home to inform their supporters that it is no longer business as usual, where you pick guns, pick machetes, and begin to kill people or begin to maim people. So, however, apart from telling the candidates themselves to go back to the supporters, even supporters should be able to know that there is going to be life after election. We are going to see ourselves after election. How will we be looking at ourselves if we have so destroy our lives because of someone who might not even know our address?
They maintain that it is worthless for anyone to create enmity with neighbors, friends, and families because of any politician, adding that the need to enthrone good governance should be the interest of all. Oluchi Amuda, Osbc News.
The National Security Council has assured that the general election will hold as scheduled expressing satisfaction at the measure put in place to ensure heat-free exercise. This follows a meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. The Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, and the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, briefed journalists on the outcome of the meeting, insisting that the Presidential and National Assembly elections will hold as scheduled in a safe and secure atmosphere. Malami said members of the Council were briefed by the Chief of Defense Staff, the Free Service Chiefs, the IGP, and heads of other security agencies about their readiness for the exercise. He noted that this Council meeting was a follow-up to the earlier meeting of the Federal Executive Council and the Council of State meeting, holding to affirm the readiness of the electoral body, the Independent National Electoral Commission, the police, and other security agencies to go ahead with the general elections in the country. He maintained that the Council expressed satisfaction with the situation and is convinced that the election can hold as planned. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, has ordered a restriction of all forms of vehicular movement on roads, waterways, and other forms of transportation from 12 a.m. to 6 p.m. on election day, with the exception of those on essential services such as INEC officials, electoral observers, the press, ambulances responding to medical emergencies, firefighters, among others. According to police spokesman CSP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, the IGP sternly warned all security aides and escorts to desist from accompanying their principals and politicians to polling booths and collation centers during the election, as anyone found flouting this directive will be severely sanctioned. The order, which is part of measures in place to ensure a safe, secure, and conducive environment for the conduct of elections, is aimed at ensuring public order, management, the security of electorate, as well as assisting the security agencies in effective policing, thereby preventing hoodlums and criminally minded elements from disrupting the electoral process. He emphasized that only security personnel specifically assigned to election duties are to be seen within and around the designated election booths and centers. The IGP also enjoins all citizens to shun vote buying and selling, hate speech, misinformation, disinformation, snatching of ballot boxes, and other criminal acts, as the force and other security agencies will leave no stone unturned in ensuring that all violators of extant laws, most especially the Electoral Act 2022, are brought to book. Barely 56 hours to the conduct of the presidential and National Assembly elections, the British government has reiterated its resolve to impose travel ban and other sanctions on politicians and promoters of electoral violence in Nigeria. The British High Commissioner in Nigeria, Carol Lang, who stated this during the formal opening of the Nigeria Civil Society Room for Election Situation Room, located at Transcorp Hilton Hotel Abuja, expressed grave concern over the effects of federal government's new currency policy on the citizenry. This is just as other diplomatic missions of United States, Australia, Japan, Norway, and Canada availed the signing of the second peace accord among the party's presidential candidates. Lang, who frowned on the ripple effect of the new cash policy tax federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria on the need to make available sufficient currency for citizens with a view to mitigating the hardship being faced by Nigerians across the country. 6 countries, including the UK, in a statement jointly signed by their diplomatic missions, advised all actors in the election to support all efforts to ensure the Nigerian people decide who wins the election. Osho State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke says the People's Democratic Party is set to deliver a state for the party's presidential flag bearer, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, come Saturday, 25th February. The governor stated this at the resumed mop-up rally of the party in Okuku, Ikiri and Iwo. Governor's office correspondent Abdurrahim Adekilikun now reports.
Welcoming the governor and his entourage to the rally in Okuku, where the train kicked off for the second day, Alhaji Shuaib Oyedokun, former governor of Osun State, Prince Olagunsoye Oyinlola, and the Director General of Atiku Okuwa Campaign Organization in Osun State, Honorable Sunday Bisi, said the PDP presidency is the only way out of the quagmire that Nigerians are grappling with. They lamented the current naira scarcity that has wreaked havoc in so many Nigerian homes and called on Nigerians to shun vote buyers, praying that good times will soon return to the country. APC leader Honorable Okunlola Kazeem from Faji led members of former ruling party in Osun State from Faji and Okpete to dump their former party and join the People's Democratic Party, saying they have been convinced by the good governance being delivered by the governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke. Speaking at the rally, Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke commended the contributions of his predecessor, Prince Olagunsoye Oyinlola, for the many dividends of democracy bequeathed to the state. He lauded the leaders of the party for coming together in love and unity, promising that the ongoing road construction from Osogbo that has reached Ikirun will be taken to Kwara State boundary in Ilaudo.
We have done very well. Nítorí nígbà tí bàbá wa wà bẹ́ẹ̀, gbogbo nǹkan tó dáa gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ń ṣe gbà yẹn. Progressive ní ní ọmọ àdùn, ó kẹ́ wo ọdún kínú yìí, ó ti máa gbà mí, ó ti máa gbà mí. Mo wá láyé ọ̀pẹ̀ mú lọ, mo ní lọ PDP fẹ́ 2018. Mo wá ní tẹ́ ẹ bá ti lè bá wa ṣe ní 2022, ọ̀nà yìí tó ń pa èèyàn, tọ́wọ́n rí ìkọ́lẹ́sẹ̀ tó ń ṣe bá òní máa kọ́kọ́ ṣe. Ìyá ọgbẹ́rún ọlọ́run ó ṣe dé bọ́dà.
Governor Adeleke thanked the people for choosing peace and dialogue instead of resorting to violence. Governor Adeleke thanked the people for choosing peace and dialogue instead of resorting to violence in the face of the naira scarcity. The train moved to Ikirun Palace Square, where PDP leaders appreciated residents of the town for their support and appealed to the people to vote for PDP in the general election coming up on Saturday. From Ifelodun local government, the train moved to Ikire in Irewole local government, where the governor and his entourage arrived into the jubilant hands of party supporters. The governor used the occasion to solicit votes for the senatorial candidate of PDP in Osun West, Akogunlere Oyewumi, and others. In Iwo, the governor lauded the people for their tolerance in the face of the current scarcity of cash. He enjoined them to vote out the APC to enable the PDP presidency under Atiku Abubakar and Ifeanyi Okowa to rescue Nigeria. The mop-up campaign rally climaxed today as the governor visits Osogbo and Ede for the grand finale. It has been Abdurrahim Adekilikun reporting.
Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke wraps up the mop-up rally of the People's Democratic Party with the royal blessings from candidates. For the candidates of the party in Saturday's election, the campaign train for the last day took off from the palace of Timi of Edeland, where the governor and his entourage paid royal homage on royal fathers from Ejibo, Egbedore, Ede North and South local governments, Ulu of Songbe from Ejibo local government, Alara of Ara from Egbedore local government, and Timi of Edeland showered royal blessings on the candidates of the PDP to come out victorious in the general elections. The Timi of Edeland, Oba Muniruddin Adeshola Lawal, Laminisa the First, appreciates Governor Adeleke and the Adeleke dynasty for their positive contributions to the development of Edeland, while lauding Senator Adeleke for his wonderful performances in less than 100 days in office across the state. from the palace to the venue of the rally at Obalaoye Grammar School. The governor was welcomed throughout. He also welcomed a prominent member of APC in Nederland and former member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Adetunji Ajagbe, who came from APC to pick up the umbrella to the amazement of the crowd. The governor called on youth, students, women, and other members of the public to cast their votes for Atiku Abubakar and other candidates of the party in the Saturday's presidential poll and March 11 state assembly elections. The governor, in appreciation of the show of love, stood up from the open roof of his car from Ilobu down to Erioshun. The crowd led the governor through Jamondo Palace Road, which is being reconstructed by the governor as part of his 100 days project. Meanwhile, the Osun State chapter of All People's Party has collapsed its structure into the People's Democratic Party, declaring support for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and all PDP candidates. This is contained in a statement signed by the Director's Media State chapter of the PDP, Olabamiji Ezekiah. The APP leaders, led by Odeshola Oluseye Titus, were at the state secretariat of the PDP in Osogbo to make the declaration and direct all its local government structures to vote for PDP on Saturday and in March election. He said the decision of the APP leaders to back Alhaji Abubakar was due to the national outlook and good economic programs for the country. The defectors said they joined force with PDP because of Governor Ademola Adeleke's performance in the last 2 months, which is super impressive. According to Oluseye, Governor Adeleke has shamed critics by his delivery of and contributions to the development of the state, adding that many are surprised at the governor's performance. Responding, the representative of the state chairman of the party, Alhaji Mustafa Sikiru, commended the decision of the APP leadership. We now go on a commercial break. The major report continues in a moment.
In your secondary school, do you have what it takes to be the next ULesson academic champion? If yes, then get ready to put your academic skills to the test. Introducing the ULesson National Academic Tournament. Represent your school and compete for a chance to take home the grand prize of 3 million naira plus other amazing prizes. To learn more or register for the challenge, visit ulesson.com/challenge. ULesson, love learning.
Nigerians
1,000. We go watch play tire. Farabalẹ̀ now.
Madam, hello lówó wa.
Brother, na 3,005.
Màá fún yín ní owó pé káàdì Glo ẹlẹ́gbẹ̀rún 10,000.
Oh yeah.
Bring your phone.
Ah, 10,000.
These Glo people now, wow, 1,000 naira credit. Now it's also 10,000.
No. All of us don't know about Glo Berekete. Ní ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá nísìnyí.
Ṣé o ti gbọ́? Ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá ló máa gbà lórí iyekíye tó o bá rà sórí ohun ìpè Glo Berekete 10 times rẹ.
I told you. Now what go there?
Nigerians have continued to lament the unavailability of the retail naira, as many Nigerians, including governors, have faulted the presidency's decision on the redesigned currency, saying it is only going to add to the suffering of the masses. Those who spoke for Osbc News in separate interviews enjoined federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria to make new currency available for the general use of all the people of the country, so as to save them from the stress they are currently passing through just to get access to their hard-earned money. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga has the details.
Controversies have continued to trail the redesigned 200 naira, 500 naira, 1,000 naira notes, as many have continued to groan over the unavailability of the new currency. Businesses, commercial services, and individuals were hard hit by the implementation of the naira redesign policy, with shortage of cash in circulation, which culminated into violent protests and attacks on banks by individuals in different parts of Nigeria, while some governors dragged the federal government to court over the Naira redesign policy. In a bid to rescue Nigerians from this crisis, President Muhammadu Buhari, during a national broadcast, ordered the Central Bank of Nigeria to allow the old 200 Naira note and redesigned 200 Naira, 500 Naira, 1000 Naira note to coexist till 10th of April this year.
I have given approval to the CBN that the old 200 Naira banknote be released back into circulation, and that it should also be allowed to circulate as legal tender with the new 200 Naira, 500 Naira, and 1000 Naira banknotes for 60 days.
However, some Nigerian governors have faulted the declaration of the president that the old 1000 Naira and 500 Naira notes are no more legal tender, while extending the validity of the old 200 Naira notes till 10th of April, saying those who advised the president on the currency redesign policy were mischievous. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has fixed the 3rd of March this year for judgment on the suit filed by some state governments challenging the federal government's Naira redesign policy. Speaking on this development, a legal practitioner, Mr. Abimbola Ige, and the public affairs analyst, Mr. Oyeniyi Raimi, who condemned the pronouncement of the president over the Naira crisis, noted that President Muhammadu Buhari has in every way worked against the rule of law.
To the surprise of every reasonable Nigerian, all our hope was that the government of the day, led by Muhammadu Buhari, was going to address the nation and find lasting solution to the problem on hand. Well, he has the right to say whatever he likes, but we are saying that it's against the law of the land.
Government needs to go back to the drawing board, look at what can be done to salvage the situation. It is definitely the right policy. When it is well implemented, definitely everybody will be happier for it.
They added that the scarcity of the new currency have no doubt inflicted hardship on many Nigerians, calling on the government to look more into its monetary policy in such a way that the policy will better the lots of Nigerians. Oluwa Tobiloba, Odunuga, Osbc News.
Governor Ademola Adeleke has approved the payment of another batch of our salary arrears for the state and local government civil servants. In a letter from the head of service, Mr. Samuel Aino conveyed the approval of February 2016 half salary arrears for the state civil servants. The letter was signed on behalf of the head of service by the director, Mr. K. Akintola. It will be recalled that earlier in the month, the state government paid the January 2016 half salary arrears to the state workforce, while approving modalities for the payment of all the 30-month half salary arrears inherited from the previous APC government in the state. Political elites, as well as well-to-do personalities in the country, have been admonished to prioritize the health of the less privileged through periodic free medical outreach. Erelu Oladuma Kefadeyi gave the admonition in Ilara under the free medical outreach organized for the residents of Ilara by Erelu Oladuma Foundation. The report is presented from our studios.
People of Ilanrogun in the local government area of Osun State benefited from the medical outreach provided by Erelu Olajumoke Foundation. Available on the menu of the free service include diagnosis of high blood pressure, diabetes, malaria, blood tests, eye tests, medicated glasses, among others. Speaking with Osbc News on the initiative, Erelu Olajumoke Fadeyi noted that it is instructive to be conscious of the popular saying that health is wealth. Making efforts by providing succor for the downtrodden is a task that must be done by well-to-do personalities.
I realize that in Osun, most of what the politicians, most of what they do is food, money, and what have you. But I just saw that nobody is doing the health outreach. Health is wealth. If you have food at home, if you have plenty of food at home and you are not well, there is no way you can eat. There is no way you can walk to go and vote. There is no way you can canvass for votes. That is why we feel it is very important to be in very good health.
The team leader of the medical personnel on ground, Mrs. Oluwa Fumilayo Omotosho, said the process is pretty much simplified, adding that the medical outreach captured considerable percentage of individuals' health challenges.
We have drugs for people that are hypertensive, people that are diabetic, people that have malaria. We have a service for the eye checkup. We're giving free glasses too, and eye medications too. And as many illnesses that we feel that we can get, we have drugs that can cater for those diseases.
Beneficiaries who spoke with Osbc News on the free medical outreach were full of prayer and praises.
Advice to people benefiting these arrangements is they should vote for the man. He's a very good man.
Mrs. Fadeyi, the wife of Chief Olubiyi Fadeyi Ajagunla, People's Democratic Party senatorial candidate, affirmed that the free medical outreach for the less privileged is designed quarterly in ensuring healthy communities.
Now welcome to our sports segment. Let's now join Omotayo Adebodu for the sports report.
Rollers FC booked their place in the quarterfinals of the ongoing Osbc five-a-side football competition following a 2-0 win over Adeji Comedy FC. Goals from Akinwumi Abidoye and Adebayo Mutiu secured a win for City Rollers FC. The second match of the day featured Fly KKD FC and Olibase FC from Ikero, where assists at Demola rivalry among football clubs across the state and improved the strength and energy of teaming Osun-talented soccer players. Omotayo Adebodu, Osbc News.
Mexico Senate has approved a reform of the country's electoral institute to save money and reduce political privileges. The lawmakers voted 72-50 in favor of the controversial overhaul of the body overseeing the country's elections.